All right, welcome. Thank you for clicking on our video here. What I hope to accomplish in this one is just a brief rundown of sort of what I was thinking during the match. My opponent here at the bottom of the screen, Sergeant Durandal, will be hopefully putting up a more brief version of the match than than the raw video was. This is the one we've taken down because there was a lot of arguing and stuff. And so we'll be cutting all of that out to make it a little more pleasant to watch. Over here, we can see, the fleets, obviously. And I want to talk a little bit about my fleet. This is a Krylian conflict campaign. And so this is the first turn, and I can only have one upgrade per ship. This is my defense fleet. My thinking with this is that I would use this one to defend because I had Defiance, and the longer I can wait with Defiance, the better. Because then I get more shots with my black dice. I also have Yavaris and a bomber ball of sorts. I've done something different with this fleet that I have not done before. You can see in my... Sorry, I had to turn off the notifications so they aren't popping up and getting recorded into this. I was going to talk about my bomber ball a little bit. I brought these two VCXs here, which I usually don't do, but I was thinking that maybe I'll try it out with Yavaris, and hopefully I won't get him killed right away, which is what tends to happen when I take Yavaris on these fleets. He just dies trying to be in there close to the squads. Probably it's more of a problem with the way I fly, because I'm not very good at it, than really his usefulness there in the middle. Anyway, so here's our map. Before this, the rebels had won a battle over here at Crash's Drift. At Crash's Drift. That's where we played before. So the rebels won that battle. And now the Empire is attacking here at Polanis. It's not a very good picture, but hey, it's what we got. And you can see the objective here is intel sweep. And so I'm going to get a chance to try out my my strategic keyword and see how well that works for moving the tokens around, and hopefully be able to pick some up. We'll get ahead through the obstacles here, which I didn't really have a good plan with the obstacles. The tokens, though, my plan was to put a couple here, with the idea being that I could have a VCX here and have it land near this token and pull it back so that on the first turn my objective ship could get that token right away on the very first turn, which gives me an advantage. And so there goes one token for me. I'm going the wrong direction. Why isn't it natural scrolling? I don't know. Okay, here's our 5 tokens. There's one here, 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 and here. So the plan was, depending on deployment, to be able to pull this one back so that I could get it first turn and then come out and get this one, or pull this one back so I can get it first turn and then come out and get this one, and then come across to this one or over here to this one, or vice versa to these two, depending on how things turn out. That being said, let's look at the deployment. The first thing I put out is my CR90 right by this token. Right here, you can see that the token's there, CR90's here, and I have my squads all over the place here. I have one squad left that isn't out there. It is my another VCX, which I'm going to put here, and that way it'll be able to move to here, pull this token back before he activates, and then when he activates, he'll be able to take the token and then fly off towards this one. So I have him going 3 to begin the game, so that I can go 4 if I need to, or slow down if something really bad happens. So I should be able to get to this token second turn, especially if my VCXs can pull it back towards me. So I really think I can get this token, and then on turn 2, pull this token back over to where I am and get that too. I think it's a pretty good plan. Or if that doesn't work, be able to fly him all the way to where this token is, and then just get it without the VCXs even intervening. Let's wait for that to go away. I wish that wouldn't pop up every time. You can see how he deployed his Architens down there. He has 3 of them and then a Raider. Because of the way he deployed, I decided that I should, and my bomber ball was going to go in the middle one way or the other because it's a slow bomber ball, and I decided that's where I wanted it to go. And with where these obstacles are here, this one and this one and this one, and since he deployed here, and he can either split this way, or send these two guys off this way and bring this one in behind, I decided to send my big ship probably right here in the middle, because it should be able to handle, especially with a bomber ball by it, anything these Architects can push out. I was a little worried about the Raider with external racks coming around into the side of me, but that bomber ball is going to take care of that Raider. And remember, he is first player, so I do have to worry a little bit about him jumping in and then jumping out without me being able to get him. So kind of my plan. And remember, I said I did not want to put Yavaris right into the middle of things. So what I do is I end up putting Yavaris out there, over here on the side, so that he can, I think I started him going two or three, I don't remember. But I started him going, no, probably two, so that he can come this way, maybe make a distraction for these two so that they'll come over here. Or he'll just be able to fly into the side and behind the whole formation and shoot his 3 red dice at things. Either way, with my VCXs, he can get his 2 commands of squads in, and I should be fine. Next, I place my MC-80 right here, my Defiance, going speed 2. That way he can hopefully respond to whatever these Architects are doing down at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully. We'll see what happens. But that was the idea there. And I was pretty happy with things are going. I thought I could keep my commander here pretty free of fire since he's fast and maneuverable. Didn't turn out that way, and he got a really good roll against me, but we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how that plays out here in a minute. Turn 1 is a squad command by the Defiance, and it sends the first VCX forward. The other one's back here. That one came from here, sends it forward to here. It's going to pick up this token and pull it back to in this area. And then I can send the other VCX forward, take this token, pull it back onto my objective ship. This is his objective ship. He has landed it on a token. It's a Raider. So he is going to be picking up that token on turn 2. This token here turns out to be, no, it's not that token. It's a different token. One of these tokens here turns out to be, it's this one up here. It turns out to be a bit of an argument, and it gets kind of not fun to watch. So we'll just skip over that. Anyway, my big plan is to get these tokens back to my command ship. My command ship is my objective ship, so I pull this one back. I'll be able to have 2 tokens right out of the bat, and then I just need to be able to either get this one or this one, and I will be in business. And since he's going to have to choose to either go this way or this way, I think I'm in good shape at this point to be able to do that. Here's an overhead view of what's happened after I move the tokens around. This VCX moved this one to here from here, so the token's sitting here. The other VCX moved up here and moved this token back to within one of this guy. So we'll pick up this token and then move. So here we are at the beginning of turn 2. I am in good shape to pick up 2 of those tokens and get myself 75 points. It appears as if he is committing his Raider to come after Yavaris over here. This guy also looks like he might be headed out Yavaris' way. Yavaris thinks he can handle that, and we'll see what happens. At least I'm having him divert a bunch of his forces over that way to take out Yavaris. I'm in good shape with this token here. My bomber ball has moved up. He's going with his Raider this way, his other Architect this way, and this guy coming along behind. He kind of crossed his formation in a big X pattern. And his 4 squads are hanging back, hoping to either alpha strike or not get alpha struck by my bombers. And protect his ships. I think that was the idea with those. I wanted to go ahead a little bit and show this roll that we got when he activates his Architect. The one he's pointing at right here is this one. He activates it. And it does that kind of damage to my poor Corvette, which that was no fun. He got both accuracies and then 4 hits, so I couldn't do anything about that but redirect it around a little bit and take a beating. Luckily there were no crits, I guess. So, all right, let's take a look and see what happened during turn 2. I'll go over a couple of different things. Starting on this side, Yavaris has moved. The Raider has moved right into the side of Yavaris. It's going to use its external racks, hopefully into the side of Yavaris, so that he's trying to kill him in one turn. I think it's double arced and everything. It's a pretty good place for that guy to be. He also has this Architon sitting here, so if I move Yavaris, the Architon will be able to shoot at me too. So that's a little bit of a problem. This guy has become very, very wounded. He is my my flagship with Ackbar on it, almost 40 points just in Ackbar, and it already has 2 damage to it, taking that really bad first shot from the kitten, and it's just wounded. It's not doing well. And he has this, a TRC Architon sitting here, ready to shoot at, so he has some decisions he wants to make going first turn. My MC80 has moved forward and turned a little bit. This, well, let's start over here. These two, the B-Wings, and this is Nora right here. I sent them with Yavaris, so I wasted the Yavaris title, but I sent them anyways, because he had squad command, over to attack this Architon. They all rolled perfect rolls with Nora's stripping of his shield, so this thing lost all of its shields around 3 sides with just these 2 guys attacking it, because she got her hit crit and then stripped a shield plus 2 damage, and he got his hit crit plus a hit and stripped a shield, the other shield, because he redirected, and then 2 damage. And so it was a great roll of bombers. And then I sent an escort over to protect them. What was happening here, he sent 2 of his guys in to shoot at Nora, and they did some damage. I sent Rogue Squadron in after he'd done his 2 activations to stop. I don't remember what he had. He has some fire sprays and a Boba Fett, and I think one of these is IG-88, and then there's the generic, whatever, a generic IG-88's over here somewhere too. So I sent my Rogue Squadron over here to hopefully, slow them down. He took a beating, but he did stop them from getting over here and killing Nora. And I moved the rest of my little squad ball forward. This guy, he was a real problem for all of us, and we got into some, pretty ugly arguments about what was going to happen with this. He was back here because I'd landed on him. I moved him here, and I had pre-measured, and I really thought that I had the token in range. After I landed, I was hovering the tool. Who knows what had happened, but he wasn't in range. And so I was upset because I really wanted to move this token because it was sitting underneath his Raider. I really wanted to be able to move it to stop him from getting it. My opponent didn't realize how important that token was at the time, and he said, hey, just move it. It's okay. It's a friendly match. Just move it over there. And I said, okay. I didn't want to tell him that it was. Anyways, it was a whole big argument. And later, after I told him, hey man, that token was really important, because if you had activated this ship first, so he has a choice. He can activate this ship first and use his external racks, but he's worried about me escaping before he does that. Or he can activate this ship first, blow up my commander before I can gather this token. And so if I don't get this token, I have 2 right now, he has 1. This would be his second. And he would probably be able to get the third, maybe not. But it would have been a tie, and I would have had 75 points less, and I probably would have lost the game. That's just the way it is. So this token was very important for me to get away from him so that I could get 3 tokens and him only have 1. Just in case I only had the 2. I ended up getting the 3rd token, so it didn't matter as much, and we really shouldn't have been arguing about it, because who cares if we win or lose? We're just trying to have fun and play. Anyhow, so he has to decide now. That's part of going first player. You have a problem if you're threatening 2 different people, because then you have to make a choice. So he's threatening over here, and he's threatening here with this, because he could finish this one off with his TRCs pretty easily, I think. And he could finish off or he could try to kill Yavaris, which is what he really doesn't like Yavaris, and he really wanted to kill him because he was worried about this guy dying, all sorts of things. So, choices. He's got choices to make. And this is where we ended up at the beginning of turn 3. So here we're one activation in. He decided to activate his Raider, and he shot at Yavaris. Yavaris did not die, luckily. He's still held in there. And he moved his Raider over here. So my thinking now is I need to try to, get the objective, win the game, save my commander, because I know he is in a world of hurt over here. So I activate him. I take the token that was sitting here. I do a little bit of shooting, and I am going to move out over into this area. I'm going 4, so I've got a bit of a problem in that I'm going to be ending up really close to the edge of the mat. But getting the token at this point was worth anything that I was going to do. I think I did not take I think I took an engineering command, and that was ended up being a mistake. I was trying to get rid of this card. You have to do 2 engineerings in a row. I didn't realize where I was. So if you have a CR90 pointed this direction, it's going 4, and you don't take a nav dial, you're in trouble, because he goes fast and he goes 4 and he ends up over here. And what ends up happening is he lands here. I take a nav dial the next turn, but there's no way for me to get him back on. He flies himself off the board. So I end up losing him anyways, but I did get the token before I lost him to get me the 75 points to kind of make up for losing him. It doesn't make up the total value. If I'd been smart, I would have used a nav and I would have turned, but poorly played by me. If you're playing, make sure you use navs on him, because you can choose at the beginning of the turn. I should have been able to see this and said, oh, if I don't pick a nav dial, he's going to fly off the board, but I didn't look that far ahead or think that far ahead. All I was worried about was losing him and him dying and trying to get rid of that card. So that was dumb. I'll show you a little bit of the maneuver. My only maneuver here, you can see I'm going 4. The only maneuver I have is do an inside turn, and to do that I have to have straight here in this last. I can't do my 2 joint here, and this is really all I've got, because if I do an outside turn, put the tool over on this side and run it up over to here, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm safe. But if I'm turning, which is really, I really need to be turning, and I twist it around, one of my corners is probably going to hang off the edge of the mat, and I'll die on this turn. And so I felt like this was my only safe move. I think I laid the tool down over on this side of the mat and tried to see if that was an option, and it just wasn't. I in fact did put the tool down over here, and I felt that if I tried to do this turn, I would end up with part of my ship off the mat over here. This would have been ideal. This would have saved him if I could do it. I probably should have tried this, because there was no way I was going to recover from that inside turn I decided to do instead. It made him last 1 turn longer though, and I got to use Ackbar for 1 turn for whatever good it did me. I didn't, anyways. This is what I decided to do. It was a dumb decision, and I ended up, we'll roll it forward, and you can see where he lands. I do the inside turn, he lands right there, and there's just no way. I picked a nav dial next turn, but yeah, I couldn't save him. Pointed this direction like this. No way to save him. I wanted to point out that here he had an interesting choice to make. He has chosen to activate his flagship, which is this guy right here, instead of activating this one here, which is badly wounded and has these bombers sitting here with Yavaris ready to activate. At least one of them is in VCX range. They both aren't, but one of them is. So he's got a really tough choice to make, and he chose to try and save his commander. He was worried about my Ackbar dice and me shooting at him and being able to kill him. So he decided to try and kind of scoot this one over here out of range and sacrifice this Architen to do it. We're going to look at the start of turn 4 really quickly to see what's happened. At this point, he has started hyperspacing ships. I'm not sure which ones. We'll put up a summarized video later so we can see what happens during the game. This time I also want to talk about what I was thinking. I had managed to kill one of his Architens with my bombers and Yavaris. My thinking at this point is Yavaris here is a little weak. He's got all these damage cards here on him. I think it's 3, no shields, and my opponent here has these squads that can hurt ships fairly well, and I don't want to lose Yavaris. I slowed him down. I had a token, so he's only going, I think, 1 now, maybe 2. He's going really slowly to try and not get into range of these guys. I'm trying to tie him up with my squads. I did lose both of my B-Wings and Nora over here to his squad fire. I don't want Yavaris to die because I will probably be losing the game. I have his little ships over here running scared with my MC-80. They're afraid of me and they don't want any part of it. I have his commander pinned in against the side here. He's not in a great place right now. Mostly he's running away and trying to mitigate damage because it is a campaign and he doesn't want to scar any more ships than he has to. So he's hyperspacing and trying to stop disaster from happening. I suppose I could have done that with Ackbar, but I wouldn't have been able to pick up the token because I would have sacrificed the dial. I don't know. That probably, now that I think about it in hindsight, might have been a smart thing to do at that point when I realized I wasn't going to be able to make it. Huh. Well, too bad I didn't think about that when we were playing. This is the end of turn 4 and the end of our game. All 3 of his ships, you can see if it, yeah, there's the dials that he sacrificed to be able to jump into hyperspace. So at the end of the turn, they are gone. My MC-80 is not catching them. We cleaned up some of the squads here. I killed off some of his, and he killed off some of mine, and he flew a couple of his over here. I'll wait for that to go away. He flew a couple of his down there to safety, which you can see because one of them only had 1 life left, and he just flew them off so I wouldn't kill him, and so he wouldn't have to scar them. My command ship with Ackbar on it flew itself off here. His raider survived. I killed off one of his Architens, and the rest hyperspaced away. And I won based on my objective points, basically alone. So I think everything worked pretty well. My squads worked the way I hoped they would work. I used my strategic the way I kind of wanted to. My bombers actually did some damage. Yavaris didn't die this time. I didn't really get to use the Yavaris power much, the upgrade, you know, because he never flew into my bomber ball, which was probably a smart idea. My MC-80 did its job. It scared off all of his little ships and they ran away. It was never in danger of dying at all. And it was a victory. It's a little bit hollow because I feel like I won because I, threw a tantrum about that darn token, and we really should have been more agreeable about that. I'll let this be a lesson to everyone that when you're playing with your friends, just try to be friendly and don't get all upset about things because it's a game and we're having fun. And at this point, looking back at it a couple of days, does it really matter that I won or lost? Nope, we were just trying to have fun. Anyway, that's sort of what I was thinking when we were flying this fleet around. I think it worked pretty well. For additions next time, I've got to unscar a couple of ships, but I would like to add more activation so that Defiance can wait a little bit longer to go, probably in the form of a Corvette, maybe a transport. I need to be able to push the squads around a little bit more, so a transport would be good for that. I could use the MC-80 to push squads, but I like him to be doing, other stuff. I will probably want to add in 1 more squad so that I have an even number instead of an odd number. That would be nice. Maybe a hero unit, something like that. I think it flew pretty well, though, for a defense fleet. If I had to go up against a couple of ISDs, which is what his other fleet is, I'm not sure it would have done as well. But against these little ships, I feel like it held its own and did a pretty good job. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've gleaned something from my thinking of what I was doing during this battle. If you think it was terrible thinking and there were things I should have done much better, well then, let me know in the comments, and I can learn from that too, because I don't fly these things as well as I could. Anyways, thanks for watching, and that's it for now.